So, the Los Angeles Lakers just beat the second seed Houston Rockets 104-98, and although it wasn't the best outing from their stars, they still managed to get the job done. So without further ado, let's dissect how they got the job done. Starting with their newly acquired star in Luka Doncic, he came out the gates pushing downhill on this fast break, and with Jackson Hayes coming up to set this screen, this now leaves the paint wide open with Alperen Sengun as the only backline defender. So when coming off the screen, Luka slows it down to 1, see what Sengun is going to do, but 2, he wants to wait for VanVleet to recover on the backside so he can lean into his body, and this here is how you draw a foul with the body contact and sink the bucket for the and 1. When Luka's coming off these pick and rolls, you'll see him snake around the screen a lot because now he has the defender in the palm of his hand. Now he could choose to push right at the big, but that could result in a tough bucket down low, or Tari could come off his man to collapse on this space on the drive. So that's why being patient when coming off the pick and roll action is valuable, because at this point he can put Green in a tough spot when trying to contest, and even though it's minimal, if you look closely, Green has his hand on the lower portion of Luka's body, which is in clear view of the ref on the sideline, and with the slight sail from Luka to get the call, this one ends in another and 1.
3 different rockets, count it, foul.
This patience Doncic has plays out in so many ways, such as on this post up, he kicks it out to reset himself, and with no one coming over to help out the smaller VanVleet, Luka can spin off him towards the rim for an easy one off the glass. Soon enough, defense will start getting tired of Luka scoring, so they'll send doubles at him off the pick and rolls to hopefully slow him down. But not only does this not work, as he's able to get all the way to the paint despite the double team, but now he has collapsed your whole entire defense, which opens up many shooters. And don't cheat when I ask you this. If you watch the game, then you already know. Who do you think Luka will pass this to? Is it going to be LeBron James or Finney Smith? Now look, it may not seem like it, but Luka is going to hit Finney Smith on his pass as he wraps it around Sengun's body, which now results in a wide open 3. Time and time again, the defense will use different ways to try and slow Luka down, such as off this pick and roll here. Sengun is in drop coverage to take away any drive attempt, and although it's pretty late, he calls out for Thompson to switch on to Finney Smith. Now if you know anything about Luka, you can't afford to have any miscommunication and accidentally leave a guy wide open while you crowd him, or else you'll fall victim yet again to another 3-pointer. If you ask me, the Lakers are truly lucky to have a guy like Doncic on their team, because all guys have to do is make themselves available to receive a pass, and best believe he will put it right on the money. I mean, hey, even if you aren't moving, Doncic will use the pick and roll to make the defense shift completely. And yeah, he could go to the lob to Hayes over the top like always, but that right there would be predictable. And in the game of basketball, you want to be able to keep the defense on their toes. So with the pass over the top all the way to the corner, Green now has a long distance to close out to Vincent, who is hot this game going 6 for 13 from deep. And this one right here is straight cash. Trust me when I say it, you can't afford to leave anyone open when Luka is on the floor. It doesn't matter if you blitz him aggressively off the screen, as he can make a quick decision to send it over the top of your head for Hayes to go slam it home.
James cutting, and Jackson Hayes.
And please, for the sake of your ankles, do not get switched onto him if you're big, because now he can make you play twister, causing you to touch the earth. And I know, the ref did miss a clear carry in this moment, but the Rockets also missed out on the memo to not leave corner guys wide open, so what do we have here? Well, it's a butterball for 3 points. This absurd amount of attention Luka commands on the court benefits his team even if it isn't him directly assisting the play, as the gravity will pull 2 players towards him all the time, allowing for a pass to be made with ease. And now with Finney Smith being wide open, this forces Dillon Brooks to not only step out here, but he also has to cover LeBron as well when the pass is made, and at this point, it's just the Lakers playing monkey in the middle until they find the open shot. When you look around the league, there isn't many guys who can pull the defense into him the way Luka does, and with him being a great scorer and passer, he can either choose to step back and nail it over 2 defenders closing out, or when he's pushing the ball up the floor, he can easily find a man running with him as both defenders commit to him. And if you look at the entire court, you'll notice that Tari is the only man back to cover the basket, so this makes him have to stay put and cut off Finney Smith, but that ultimately leaves Gabe Vincent in the opposite corner wide open to cash in from deep. For the defense, they have to always be on their P's and Q's and make sure they put themselves in the best position to take away these open shots. And the key example being here off this pick and roll action, where Adams assumes it's going to be a lob to Hayes or a drive, so that's why he positions himself in the middle ground to be ready for either action. But where this play goes wrong is with Jabari Smith. When you're 2 passes away and the guy 1 pass away is uncovered, you must slide up slightly to split the ground between both offensive players, but since he doesn't, he now has to close out hard to Reaves, who can now swing it right down to the corner to Vincent, and now this one is practically a warm-up jumper. Not only will it be Luka who operates off these ball screens to get the ball moving throughout the offense, as Austin Reaves can initiate these actions with LeBron, who if you ask me is one of the best decision makers you can have in this position. So upon catching, we can all see the entire Houston defense collapse to stop any further penetration towards the rim, and this here is exactly why a lot of people say young teams can't win at a high level. When you're facing certain teams and guys, you have to understand what's been happening to you all game, and you need to have solid communication between one another. At this moment, I understand that LeBron is someone who can straight up bully you inside, but both Jabari and Sengun can't be rotating in and leaving two guys wide open on the outside. Maybe if this was a different player who doesn't have great court vision like LeBron, this would work. But James is someone who will expose your defensive mistakes just as well as Luka, so instead of both rotating down, Sengun should have been the one dropping and Jabari Smith should have played the middle ground between Rui and Vincent. But hey, I guess this is just a learning lesson and they will have to go back and watch film and learn from their mistakes. Like on this play here, they do a pretty solid job at rotating on these passes, but the thing is, when you have guys who have already seen some fall through the basket, they're now shooting it with confidence, which makes it extremely hard to stop them. Now listen, don't get carried away, don't take my words out of context. I'm not saying the Lakers are unstoppable or anything whatsoever. But with capable players on the team, you don't want to let anybody just get in rhythm or else you could be in for a very long night. I mean, take Austin Reaves for an example. He's literally a third option on this team who averages 20 points a game. To do this next to Luka and LeBron is ridiculous, but it's all because he has the confidence to go out there and perform on a nightly basis. Let's say you need him to push the pace to go get a bucket, well he has no problem doing so. If he needs to muscle a defender off before converting the bucket, he can do that as well. And with his vision improving every year, if he has to set up one of his guys for a clean look after being doubled, this is something in his bag too. This win against the Rockets was a good one to pull off and not drop. And like I said, don't think for 1 second this is me saying that the Lakers are going to win the championship or anything. Now, do they have the right pieces to do so and make a great playoff push? Yeah, probably so. But a lot of things have to go right on both offense and defense for them to be able to not only get out the West, but also beat whoever could come out the East. When you have a team with Luka and LeBron, you can't really count them out, and as we head into the postseason, they need to stay in rhythm to go into the first round in a flow state. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.